Hello, hello, hello. I'm not on StreamYard, so I'm live on YouTube. Uh-oh. Take this out of it. Get out of it. All right, y'all. So I'm back. I had made me some dinner, which was breakfast, bacon, eggs, and grits. And so last time I checked, Biden was leading 81 to 50. What was it? 80 to 51. So hey, what happened? Here's everybody. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, go ahead and tell me who's in the chat. I'm in YouTube, so I'm not doing StreamYard, so I don't know if I can stay up any longer to watch this. This is just too nerve-wracking. Just nerve-wracking. Trump wins South Dakota. Biden wins Connecticut. All right, let me see. At a certain point in the evening, this evening, is either going to be a complete sweep. Oh, it's not going to be considered a tight race. I think once they accounted for the East Coast, southern states, we're going to see what happens. In U.S. Senate races, starting with the Commonwealth of Kentucky. How the hell? How are you going to just have McConnell? I mean, those people in Kentucky. For another term. Same with Arkansas's Tom Cotton. Keeps that seat going on for another term there. And in South Dakota, State projected Mike Rounds will go back to Washington for a second term. Tennessee, this is an open seat. Lamar Alexander is retiring. CNN can project that Bill Hagerty will be the first term there. All right, now they're talking about the Senate, who won their seats. How the hell McConnell in Kentucky? I mean, really? That man could be 1,000 years old, and he'll still be in the damn Congress. Representing that state, it was Joe Biden's old seat. New Hampshire, CNN is projecting Jeanne Shaheen is keeping her seat as well. And same goes for New Jersey, Cory Booker. Yeah, Cory Booker, you know, he's going to win his seat. You know, ain't nobody can test that. Really important. Let's look at the important races. Colorado, right now, the Democratic challenger, John Hickenlooper. 200,000 votes, 16.3%. The incumbent Republican Cory Gardner is at 38%. Cory Gardner, he's the incumbent. He's losing. The Democratic challenger, Cal Cunningham, is ahead by just a little bit more than 57,000 votes at 48.5%. The incumbent Republican, Tom Tillis, at 47.3%. South Carolina. This is one that people across the country have been watching. Right now, the Jamie Harrison, 43. Is ahead pretty significantly. Now let's look Lindsey at what Graham. In the big picture right now. Democrats are leading in 3 Republican seats. Democrats must pick up 4 Republican seats to flip the balance of power. And what is the balance of power right now? 39 Democrats. 39 Democrats. 36 remain to be called. Republicans. Right, back to you. Let's have another projection. Right now, CNN projects that Joe Biden will win the state of Colorado. Yay, Joe Biden won Colorado. 9 electoral votes. Trump in Colorado, and Trump, on the other hand, wins in North Dakota. CNN projects. Oh, I'm not following that too much, North Dakota. All right. Who was asking about North Dakota earlier? Biden is up to 89 electoral college votes. Trump has 54, 270. 89 Biden, 54 Trump. All these races, 89 right now, electoral college. This is the most important. 89, y'all. 54 for Trump. Right? And again, a lot of unpredictability. Lord. A lot of states in play, like Ohio and North Carolina, that would be flips for Joe Biden. This map so far, filling in a predictable way, but that's because we haven't called the battleground states, and we'll see where we go. But 89 to 54, 270 is the goal. You see the Joe Biden lead. This is why you look at the big states. The big states are what get you the lead. Joe Biden has New York. Right? That's why Florida, Texas, California will be blue at the end of the night. So that's why battlegrounds like Florida, Texas. Did y'all hear that?
That's why they're so important, because they're big chunks. You want to, that's the best way to get them is to build big. Pennsylvania, the biggest of the blue wall states. So if you're looking at this map right now, there are no surprises so far on this map. Again, if you come over here, I just want to pull out 1 second. Ask Brian to take a peek here. If you look at the 2020 map right now, we have Ohio blue right now. We have North Carolina blue right now. So let's come back over here.
North Carolina's blue, y'all. North Carolina's blue.
54. You come back to the Trump map 4 years ago, right?
Stop going back to this 4 years ago maps.
So far,
they just want to go back. Let's go back to 4 years ago. Jesus.
But if you look at the map where we have it right now, and if that stays, right there, you get Donald Trump down to 273 and Joe Biden up to 265. So you're thinking you have a scenario here where with just one more state, right? Just pick a state. There's 2 congressional districts here and here. That could get Joe Biden.
Sometimes CNN does too much with these dang maps.
With just Michigan, right? If Donald Trump somehow holds on to Michigan, you could get to 270 with just Wisconsin. If Donald Trump somehow held on to Wisconsin from 2016, you could get, if you're Joe Biden.
You can't go back from 2016 results to try to determine this. That's why they be getting it wrong. They be like, well, we go back to 2016, and then we look at this, and then we go back to here, and then you just click and point and click and point.
As a much more narrow path to re-election.
Why don't you just go and see what's going on right now?
Ohio and North Carolina, early results. We're not there yet. They're all the more significant because we do know heading into the final days. And again, 2016, the president was behind. He roared back. Election day turnout overwhelmed Hillary Clinton's lead in the polls. Joe Biden's lead in the polls was bigger this time. It was bigger in Michigan. It was bigger in Wisconsin.
See, they're doing too much.
So there's a path for Joe Biden to win.
Can't put Hillary and try to compare what Biden did in some of these states. Well, Hillary was, he's leading way more than what Hillary. Hillary is not in the race. That's not the, just go and factor in Trump, Biden, and go from there. Not go by what happened in 2016. That's just,
2016 map. You certainly don't want to give up 2 of your bigger prizes, which would be Ohio and North Carolina. Again, we're not there yet. And again,
if you're not there yet, don't bring it up.
If there are trade-offs, if you give something up, if you lose in North Carolina, you get it back by taking Virginia. I just want to say to people watching at home, look at that. Look at that, right? Virginia is a state that's been trending.
I can't even see. Let me see what they're talking about. Dang, they just get us sickening.
We're getting different results at different times in these different states. So we have a lot of Democratic votes still to come in. Fairfax County's the biggest. I was looking at some of the other ones early. A lot of Democratic votes still to come in. We'll watch it. It's interesting.
Right? You got a whole bunch of votes to go. A whole bunch of votes to go in Virginia and other states.
So I suspect Virginia may change in a little bit. So we come down to North Carolina. Look at that lead, 85,000 now. What was the question earlier?
What's the question now? North Carolina, 50.3% Biden, 48.5% Trump.
We told you early on the Biden big lead early was based on early votes. We know Democrats disproportionately voted early for COVID protection reasons. Democrats encouraged them to do so. And then Trump, all his rallies, what was the goal?
Well, I'm not, I'm just watching it on my phone while I listen, because I thought I was going to be able to do a watch party, but
race in a state that is a 50-50 battleground.
Now, unless I do Zoom, but I'm not, it's too much to put the Zoom link out. And then my StreamYard, it says I'm almost reaching to my limit, so I'm switching over to YouTube Live.
57%, 90%. You get to this point, 90% of the estimated vote. If you're a Democrat, you're thinking, how much more can I get out of this? If you're a Republican, you're thinking, can I just narrow the margins a little bit? 57.5, let's go back in time. 56.7.
Let's not go back in time. Please, let's not go back to 2016. I don't want to hear that no more.
You come back here, 17-point race. Look at the turnout everywhere in America. And this is
damn, Cumberland County. Where the hell is that at? Fayette, North Carolina.
In every county,
so,
almost every county we're looking at a higher vote total.
So they're looking at the counties within the state, and depending on, and so far, North Carolina is blue, and
that's Joe Biden now, 58.
Just get on with it. Damn.
355,000 votes, 302,000 votes, 53,000 more votes in the Democratic column there. Let's look at the president's numbers from 2016, 196. We come forward, 179. So higher turnout in this county. The president's not. He's got a ways to go. 80% there. We'll see if he can narrow the gap. Again, you're looking at these blue areas.
They trying to see if he can narrow the gap on if you got oh, I'm looking at it on I'm looking at CNN on my phone. So that's what I'm watching. I don't have regular TV. I don't have state what you call it? Amazon Stick and all that stuff. So I'm watching it on my phone, and I need to charge my phone because the battery's going dead. Mecklenburg County. I have relatives who live in that damn county in North Carolina. Mecklenburg. That's a whole black. Well, I don't know. Uh-oh.
That Joe Biden is leading it that Donald Trump won 4 years ago. So in North Carolina, as you were discussing with John,
Biden is leading in North Carolina, Ohio, and Wisconsin.
In Ohio, he's just under a 2 percentage point lead over Donald Trump. And in Wisconsin, he's got just over a 2 percentage point lead over Donald Trump. 3 states that Donald Trump won 4 years ago. Let's look at North Carolina and look at what's going on there. What you see in the state of play right now, you see that
15 electoral votes up for North Carolina.
Compared to Donald Trump's 2.301. He's ahead with 80% of the estimated vote in. But here's what we have to look out for. All those big Democratic counties John was just talking about, it is mostly early vote. So look, of this 80% of the vote that's in, 90% of it right now in North Carolina statewide is early vote. We think that's going to come down. We think that at the end of the night, 75% of the total North Carolina vote will be early vote. So right now, the early vote is helping Joe Biden. But as more election day vote comes in North Carolina, Donald Trump may be able to benefit from that. So we just got to keep watching.
What are y'all talking about? That doesn't make any sense. How 85-90% of the early votes came in for Biden, but then they saying the remaining votes of people who didn't vote early, Trump may be able to catch up.
Which is the Democrats were happy with their early vote. Many of the states, if you look at the data, disproportionately for the Democrats. So they got a couple laps in, if you will, on the Republicans. That's great. It's great to be leading the race, but you have to finish the race. And you finished the race today on election day. And that was the challenge for the Democrats. And that was the concern.
So now they're saying, can he finish the race in North Carolina because a large turnout was Democrat? Now they're going to try to see if some of these other counties in the state of North Carolina will catch up.
You've gone from 120 something to 111, now to 84,000 votes ahead. You want to be in the lead. You'd rather be in the lead always, of course. But now we're going to keep counting these election day votes. And so in some of these places.
So you're going to count the election day votes and see what comes in next.
And if you're Joe Biden, you're happy. Because this is one of these Trump super counties. That's where you had a rally the other day. You hope that there's not many more votes to come here. Because you just see the margin, right? 30,000, just shy of 30,000 votes. The margin here, you come back 4 years ago.
All right.
Same idea.
Yep, go back and check. Because I'm about to go back and check too. But I need to charge my phone, so.
They go there for a reason. Because they know they have voters that they can turn out on election day. And that was the challenge. So now we're going to see. The Democrats don't have to beat Donald Trump today in the election day vote. They don't have to beat him. They have to be competitive. They can't get, if they get shellacked today, you lose what you gained with the early vote. And so we're going to keep watching as this comes in. And we have some places where we still have no votes, right? So you're watching those as well. It's just a way for people to report. This was a big Trump county. Not a ton of votes, but again, you're down. Right now, you're down 84,000 votes.
He's right now 84,000 votes. But then you still got some other counties.
So you can get them. And the places we're missing, when you come back in here, some of the places we're missing are places where the president did quite well in 2016. So that's the concern if you're in the Biden campaign headquarters.
See,
how this looks.
Thank you, Creative Mind.
And so what every campaign does right now, they know what's missing.
My hair needs to be shampooed now. I need to find me a very good shampoo. I try to do Cantu, but I don't know. I'm going to have to find me something else.
Just one quick one before we leave. This is a place
Durham County, 81.8% Biden, 33% Trump. Man, Durham. I have relatives that live in Durham too, in North Carolina. All right, let me charge my phone. I'll be back. Oh, dang, phone been dead. Hold up, let me put it on the charger. All right. Okay, my phone's on the charger. All right, y'all, give me the thumbs up. Whew, I ain't never been so damn nervous in ever. I think last time, 2006, whatever, 2008. I remember I was in the clubhouse at the homeowner association. We had a watch party, had snacks, drinks, and everything. And I remember we were all going in there, and it was like Hillary leading, da da da. And then before that thing was over, it was like 11 o'clock, 11:30. Did they ended that? Whatever. I knew by the time I left the clubhouse, that thing changed up so much. It was shocking. It was as plain as shocking. And the thing about it, you know what made it so shocking is because it was like, wait a minute, what happened? And I think that when they were trying to do the pre, you know, they were trying to base that on polls. Oh, based on the polls. You know, that's what they were basing it on. They were basing it on polls. And the fact of the matter is, one, I still think that he cheated. I don't care what, somehow or another. And two, they didn't get as many people to turn out to vote. See, that's the problem. And I think people know that. With this large turnout of people who came out to vote early, I think that really kind of helped a lot. But then now you're trying to, they said 100 million people had voted early. So really, it depends on how many more people who came out to vote on election day. You know, that's the bigger factor. Everyone came out to vote early, but then how many, so let me see what they're doing. Because I know Georgia. I know Florida was close. So let's see where they at Florida. I'll be back. Hold up. Take that off. Come on. What's going on with damn CNN? All right, I'm back. Hey, Jeremy. Yep, but it's still too close. 89, 80 something, because Texas is still up in the air. That's 30 something electoral votes alone. North Carolina's still up in the air. I think Ohio's still up in the air. Pennsylvania's maybe still up in the air. So, but it's not up to clear. That's for sure. 80 something is not close to 100, and trust me, it's not. What is it? What is it? 240? What the hell is it? I'm so. All right. I don't know what to believe. I just turned on it. It said 72 to 80 something. I was like, God dang. Barely 270 is the total electoral college votes that's needed to win. It's not a certain state. Texas alone is 30 something electoral votes. Pennsylvania, so those are the big chunk. So, but so far, according to this, let me look and see what the update is, because my phone is charging. It's in the other room. All right, it's 89-72. Biden won Colorado, and Trump won New Mexico, Colorado, and something. Yeah, he won. Biden won. Well, of course, Connecticut and. All right, we also got to make sure we watch the Senate race in Congress too. Jerry, which one you watching? Because CNN is getting on my last nerves with this. They're making projections, but no one is officially declared. So I don't know which one. Which one you watching, Jeremy? Because every time I refresh the screen, I try to refresh it because they tell you the last update as the votes are coming in. So I hope you're right. I know. See, and then they got. Let's go back to 2008 and let's look at this numbers and let's look at what Hillary did and what did this. I was like, man, I'm just gonna let it get to a certain point, and then when I know it gets to a certain point, then I'm gonna go to bed. I ain't saying I'm going to bed now. It's only what 9:55. Are we going to be able to see it on your channel, or are we going to just do a commentary? Oh, I'm on YouTube. I'm not on StreamYard, so I'm not doing a actual showing. Like I could, because the only way I could do it is I could do it on the Zoom. So I'm going back and forth while some of y'all watch it on your phone, then we keep an update as to the who's leading and stuff. But as the poll closes out in the West Coast, Hawaii, and all that stuff, see, that's why we kind of watching what's happening now, because once they get the majority of the East Coast out the way, the battle states, Florida, Texas, that's almost like, you could say it's almost like the halfway point. So we could determine where it stands because they did say he doesn't have to win certain states. They said if he was to lose Florida or whatever, Biden still has a chance to beating Trump. So Texas is still up in the air. It's kind of like going back and forth. It was almost like dead even at one time. So it ain't gonna make my blood pressure rise because all I know is I'm just gonna I don't know. I just know that when we go to bed tonight and then you wake up in the morning and it's so close that it has to, go down to the Supreme Court or if there's anything but Florida and Texas and people like we need to count the votes and all that to determine who won. Ugh, another 2-3 weeks and you don't even know. That's what I just want this to be over with tonight. Deal with whatever happens. That's all we could do. All right, let me see what's going on. So far, the Democrats is controlling the House. Well, you know what? You got to look at his mug until January 20th. So whatever happens, you got to deal with that crap for the next 2 months. But yep. So the Democrats is controlling the House so far. So that's a good thing. And that's one thing that you really have to be cautious about is also watch the Senate race in the House. So So far, the Democrats are doing pretty good about the controlling the House, and that's going to be the most. Um, that's important. That's just as important as who becomes president, to be honest. Because if they could take, if they could flip the House or whatever, I know I surely don't want to see his face in the morning. But I know one thing. It's kind of like people are afraid to say, "Oh, Biden's going to win," and then be disappointed. And the fact of the matter is that they've been saying, they've been making these predictions and analysis. If Trump wins this state, that state, or whatever, they already kind of had an idea that in number wise, that Biden's going to win. But it was kind of like the early voting turnout really turned to be in the Democratic favor. But it's like, how many other people, Republicans, that said they're going to wait till the last day to vote? That's the thing. Like, how many more people came out to vote, and did they have enough? But let me check what's going on. Okay, this thing been stuck at dang. All right, Trump wins Alabama and South Carolina. Biden won Colorado. I know. And like I tell y'all today, I had did my volunteer work calling people in the phone banks for the Georgia Democrats on the phone. One black lady lived in 300830 area code in Stone Mountain. I'm not voting. I got my reasons. I ain't voting. You live in one of the most poorest county in DeKalb County at that zip code. Ain't got the nerve talking about you ain't voting. And then I honestly believe that a lot of people at a certain age group, they didn't vote. They didn't come out to vote. They didn't care to vote. And you know what? And what's so sad about it is that they're going to be the ones going to be affected more than anybody else. Exactly. They're going to march up and down and all that kind of crap. And I'm not even, let's not even talk about the black folks who voted for Trump or Latinos who voted for Trump. That's your right. But let's talk about the ones who talk about, I ain't gonna be voting. And then they be the main ones that be getting Section 8 housing and be crying about food stamps and looking around acting crazy when they ain't got no job. Now, you want to cut down some things? Cut down those entitlement stuff, earned income credit and all these stuff. Cut that down. Cut down Section 8 housing and vouchers and free stuff to sit in your house, to sit in your ass. Talk about that. And then he's talking about, I wasn't gonna open the door to take the census, but my husband, he opened the door, he took the. I mean, it's like the most ignorant, stupidest thing I've ever heard. I wasn't trying to open the door to take no census. Why? And then you look around the neighborhood they live in, it's raggedy, torn down, don't own shit. They don't even own the house that their raggedy ass houses and apartments people be living in. But they be the main ones that talk about they don't want to vote and they ain't gonna take the census. I know one thing, nobody better not come to me talking about, we taking donations for people who can't afford nothing. No. Did they vote? That's the first thing I'll be wondering. Did you vote? And did you take the census? I'm sick and tired of pushing out my money for, I know people say, oh, charity, but sometimes some people, they'll milk you to death. See, don't let that fool you. People, when I be walking through Walmart, Kroger and stuff, people, especially when I be going to Walmart to go do my assignments and stuff, and Kroger, they basket be full to the brim. And they got food stamps because ain't no way nobody could afford a shitload of groceries. And be that time of the month when they get the food stamps. I don't want to see anybody that didn't vote with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. Hell, man. Exactly. You ain't walking up and down with Black Lives Matter. Black lives don't matter too much if you don't take the time to even take hold of the political process. But they'll be the first one to stand in line for some damn fucking $300, $400 Jordans though, or some 1,000, 2,000, whatever iPhone. They'll be in line for that though. But they can't stay in line to vote. And it's not even, and to me, you're voting way beyond just the president. You're not even voting just as the president. You're voting for other things on that ballot. It was like 8, 9, 10 things on that ballot that was important just as well. The Senate, the House, the local government, all of those things were just as important. The president, they really have less effect on the communities than, say, anything else. It's just the morale of it is more important. That's what the thing is. It's the morale. It's the thing that, making those decisions that's important to the nation, which is the economy, controlling this virus, the position the United States has in the world economy. That's what's important. Stop being a damn fool to the rest of the world. Here it is. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, y'all. All the global economies, major companies, major countries has already shut down. They already had another shutdown. The virus has been so bad that they said, you know what? We're gonna have to shut it down again. And I'm not talking about small little countries either. We ain't talking about a few weeks either. That shutdown in other countries that's going on, and their form of stimulus money they giving out to their citizens is creating a economic ruins. We have yet to hit that damn economic collapse yet. The only reason why it's not, Wall Street is doing well, at least for the last 8 months, I think it was. But it's artificially stimulated with money being printed, causing inflation beyond inflation. And you know what? Whoever becomes, if Trump does president again, 4 years is going to be pure hell. He ain't going to give a damn. I don't even understand people who even support. See, they're going to turn their backs because they're going to feel it. When this economic collapse happens, if Trump gets in there, they're going to feel it too. And it's going to hit hard on everyone. I'm just going to prepare myself the best I can. Remember I told y'all a few months ago, I said, if you're doing these gig jobs, doing these food deliveries and all that kind of stuff, you better find yourself 5, 6 gigs. That's what I did. I got me another gig I'm starting next week. Omni Interactions, getting paid. If I do 20, 30 hours, I get paid $17 an hour just to sit on the phone and take calls with some holiday wine and cheese. Now, the position may last, it's a 1099 independent contractor. So it may last a couple of months, 2, 3 months. They didn't really say, but they have other assignments that they take calls for too. So as an independent contractor, they call them brand ambassadors. And I think one of the other companies they had was like a bank, but they said that they had so many problems with the background checks in certain states, but they didn't elaborate what other companies they take calls for. And I could make my own schedule. I could work whenever I want. I could just log on. It's not like per minute, and it's not like that other company that I was telling y'all about that I did a few months ago. You don't get paid per minute. You get, if I'm logged, as long as I'm logged on, if it's 3, 4 hours a night, I'm still getting paid per hour. And then so I said, shoot, that's good. So the reason why I do all these gigs and all that, I did multiple gigs. Hey, Dorian, look at you. The reason why I was doing these multiple gigs is because I have to stack my money to the point where when the economic collapse comes and happens, 2021 or whatever, I wouldn't be under distress or whatever. Because see, everybody relied on that stimulus. Oh, when's the stimulus coming? When the stimulus coming? Oh. You see, they didn't pass no stimulus. I sworn they would have passed that stimulus in October. But see, the reason they didn't pass it is because they know that if they pass another stimulus, that you're accelerating the economic collapse sooner. And the corona is the least of the problems. Now, Rona is deadly, yes, but it's accelerated and it exposed it more. But let me see what's going on. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Okay, this thing been at this thing forever.
So then let's look at where we do. Right? This is real business now. You get to a place that you ever might go on, let the president squeak it out. Watch the map swing, right? Joe Biden bigger leading North Carolina. North Carolina now, the president ahead up to 88%, 49.6, 49.2. That means we're still on the you see the point. When you see it, you see some states go blue, you go back red. This is the way the votes are counted. They vote first, and then votes first. So they vote later. Other states do it in a different way. I'm going to swing the other way. Don't try to get the vote before we get to this. 49.6, 49.2. Close that out. See, it's very clear. Again, this one here, the way to see it, 54% right now. There's a Democrats in Virginia who's not going to reverse. Again, that's a story. This is how. This is Florida. If that holds, Florida stands up for law. What's the city? Back 4 years ago, 49, 48. Another thing we are seeing, other things to secret notice is that the third party candidates are not getting the votes they did before. These candidates are getting over 50%. That's 3% now. 210,000 votes today. 54, 45, to round it up. 49 to 45, 4 years ago. Maricopa County is the difference right now. Again, the city is suburbs around Arizona. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 weeks ago, this is another case. This is one of the fastest changing places in America. Growing out here in the suburbs, 800,000 votes. Just shy of that, to go on that. So we put 700,000 votes. Also in 2003, we won that Maricopa County 4 years ago. Again, turn out like always the past that. That's a fascinating thing. It's fascinating language. What's changing? It's just a truncated.
Ain't no damn truncated. All right, I'm back. Shoot, what are you talking about? I'm under stress. What are you talking about? Yeah. Trump keep talking about, I don't know. You can't talk to nobody on YouTube. What is that supposed to mean? What y'all talking about? I'm trying to go back and forth and see what's happening. Ain't none of y'all been watching, giving the updates of what's going on. You know that ain't even true, Colas. Don't even say that, because you know that's not even true. Stop playing. That ain't nothing to play with. That ain't nothing to play. That's this other YouTube channel I've been watching with the puppets. That ain't nothing to play. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna set a time frame of when I'm gonna get off, and then after that, that's it. I'm just gonna go ahead and watch my regular YouTube channels and all the crazy stuff, and not even follow it up. I'm not even gonna look at it. That's all I'm gonna do. So. Well, I just saw a headline about something about stimulus, and trust me, it ain't gonna happen. No, I'm gonna be on here till 11 o'clock, and that's it. 11 o'clock comes, whatever results that they come up with at the time, when I go to bed, I'm not gonna look at nothing. I ain't gonna have the phone in the bed. I ain't gonna be looking at it or nothing. I'm just gonna have to wake up and see what the major headline is when I wake up in the morning, and make my way to go to work tomorrow at 11:30. And hopefully I won't be on the phone all day, and hopefully I don't get no fools calling in talking crazy. I'm not staying up with y'all. Only way I stay with y'all is what happens tomorrow night, and then I'll do my commentary and get down some low down information. We wait on that. Wait on that little check. I keep telling y'all. I know one thing. Y'all better get some other gigs, and you better find some other gigs. That's all I know. I don't care what it is. That's why I've got my gigs lined up. I'm gonna start my new gig next week. Well, hopefully people won't be off permanently, because this is the last quarter of the year. So a lot of companies be making these changes. So whatever happens, hopefully that won't be a thing. But let me go one last time. No, there's no referral code. And training is like 4 days, so it's not paid. So I'll let y'all know. That'll be another video. It was something I was supposed to do today, but something didn't, they said do something and it didn't work. So I just know next week is training for a few hours. I'm going to try to pull that off. That's a whole new story altogether. Hey, Side Job 305. All right, let me see what's going on. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'll let you know, Shelly Shell, if there's a referral code once I start the training. This is like I said, it's not paid training, but it can't be something. It's only this particular one's like 4 days, so it ain't something hard. I mean, how hard is it to talk about cheese and wine? But I'll let you know. Last time I checked, that thing is still stuck at 89 to 72, but so far, you know what? I just have to be like, except for what it is. But like I said, the West Coast is still open. The Pacific Coast, all that stuff, that's still way. That's still no, you still got over 100 something electoral votes. So, like I said, you can't win with just the battleground states. You just can't win and say, oh, but if you win this state, that you win. It's not always. Hmm. Well, I've heard of this company a few years ago. Even though I heard that, it was like a lot of different companies hiring people during the holiday season to take these orders online for this cheese and wine, like wine.com is one. But wine.com, their schedule is not as big. I think it's like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday to Friday, that's it. So I didn't choose wine.com because I chose the other one because you work up, they open from early morning till about 1 o'clock in the morning. So, and you could either be chat or you could be on the phone or both. So I'll let y'all know my new side gig. And it's a 1099. So, and like I said, the more hours you work during the week, the more higher your pay is. So if you work like 30 something hours, it's like almost $16 an hour, almost 17, something like that. I'll come with more details to that later. All right, I said I'm gonna be here till give it 30 more minutes. I'm gonna see if we can hang in there for 30 more minutes. All right, if y'all into the room, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I'm not really giving too much commentary, just more so of updates. But so far, the whole premise is that a lot of people already voted. It seems like they were saying, depending on the order that they counting the votes, they said some states they count early voting first, and then some states are counting the day of election results first, and vice versa. So depending on how they coming in, how they counting those votes, if they counting early voting first, and then the people who voted today last, or the mail-in votes, that's how it's done. That's why some of those battleground states is still up in the grabs, because they have a lot of votes to count. So Pennsylvania, Texas is still out there, Florida, they have so many ballots, so many people voted, way more than they ever, that they still counting those states. So they said Ohio, they said they might not even finish counting it till tomorrow. I was like, oh my God, tomorrow. So I don't know. We may not find anything out today or tonight. So many people voted that even though Florida and Texas and Georgia, South Carolina, even though they closed at 7 o'clock, they counting every single vote, every single one. So we may wake up tomorrow morning with no results, or nobody not going to get the 250, and that's possible. They may still be in the limbo and waiting on a few more states to determine the winner, and especially because, see, even if Biden is leading all the way and no one gets to the 250, you have to reach 250. Point blank, period. So even if someone gets to 250 and say one of them is, a few states are still counting, they might not even get there. So say it's real close. Say Biden got 211 and say Trump had like 175. Depending on who it is, who's holding it up, that's going to be like, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can hang in there for 30 more minutes with y'all. If not, I'm just going to, lay down. Hmm? All right. Biden won Massachusetts. It is now 94. Hold on. Let me see what the other one was. 94-72. Biden leading 94-72. They still didn't determine who won those battleground states. That means it's a lot of votes. It was a lot of votes for them not to finish and determine at this point. Okay, should I stay on here for another 30 minutes to 11 o'clock? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to lay down. I want to look at something different. Shelly, you still at Sites? I know you say you probably are. I know they used to call me, they used to email me every week. You gonna take the test? No, we're not gonna do that, Dorian. I'm not gonna stay up until you get tired. I'm already tired. Who? Me? Erica, who? Me tired? I'm talking about Dorian. Talk about stay up until she get tired. I'm not staying up like that. I'm gonna give y'all a time frame of 11 o'clock. I'm just trying to wait till I'm just trying to get there to a certain point when I say, you know what, I ain't gonna wait and see what comes in. I ain't never remember being this thing. I remember it would be at least midnight, 11 o'clock. It would say the president of the United States, at least midnight. It ain't never been this thing drawn out, dragged out. It ain't never been this long. Because you still have to count the West Coast and all that stuff, but shoot, it gets to a certain point, they used to be able to predict that. Now I'm just gonna go at a certain point until I know where it stands. So that way I at least You don't miss nothing. Okay, Dorian. We ain't going. Let's see what's going on. Let's see one last time. You know what? There's other races that I've been trying to watch too. You know what? Let me see with Womack in Georgia. See what's going on with that one. Let me see what's going on with that race. See, I know you at work, Dorian, but let's see what's going on at the other races in Georgia. So let me see what's going on with that. Well, I'm looking at the Georgia race, and so far, off with Purdue winning. I was trying to look and see if Walbach, the Ebenezer Baptist Church, the pastor used to be the church with Martin Luther King. He was running, but he had like a shrew of people on that ballot. His name was the last one on the dang list. I didn't see his name come up as winning anything. Oh, who said something stupid? Who said something stupid? Luke L., what you said? Stay gone. He won Utah. Who won Utah? Let me see. All right, I'm confused because I sworn I just saw 98, 95, but then I thought I saw 108. No, I thought I saw 200 and something to whatever. It was only three. All right. I don't know. It says 98.95. You know what, Erica? You know what's going to happen? Like I said, in regards of the division, if this economy goes collapsing, goes into a real depression, and things get real bad for people in general, they ain't gotta worry about it to be division because people gonna be struggling and Trump ain't gonna do shit. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be anarchy. See, I know. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. One is they're gonna be like, I ain't wearing no mask. Millions and millions of people gonna be dying. People gonna die. The ones who's here left on Earth, they're gonna have to financially struggle in terms of housing, looking for a job. All those moratoriums are gonna be due. Companies are gonna just, they're gonna be like, I'm not wearing no mask. They ain't gonna be no closing. They ain't gonna do this and that. Nope. And if you think a $1,200 stimulus check is gonna do something, you're dreaming. That $1,200 a stimulus check, or put it this way: if high unemployment is going to happen, and if people thinking, oh, where's my $600 plus get unemployment? States already depleted financially. They can't even, that $600. $100 of that was supposed to be paid by the state. That's not in regular unemployment. See, we're gonna see. We're gonna truly see. Trump getting in the office is just gonna be a total collapse. People think they're gonna be happy and jolly and thinking, oh, Trump, Trump. But when those people who support him, they're gonna get fucked. See, the ones who ain't support Trump, they already knew all that foolishness and all that kind of stuff. I'm already prepared. I'm prepared regardless. Cause see, when those jobs, he ain't all that stuff he talking about. What are you gonna say? I'm a fire. See, first of all, he gonna fire Farsi. He gonna still think he's king, and he think ain't no filling my house up. I can keep up with my mortgage. I'm just gonna like I said, I'm just gonna shoot. I'm gonna finish my ad, and people need storage space and charge them for storage because people ain't gonna be able to afford a regular storage unit. But that's another video altogether. I'll talk about that too. This is ridiculous. I know it's still a long ways to go. But this is just nerve wracking. This is nerve wracking. We need, see, the thing is, Trump ain't gonna, he gonna go on this rampage. You fired, I'm gonna fire you. We ain't made no mask. And then people just gonna keep going on with the okie doke. Let me see. Biden got 118, Trump got 105. So you still got. Yep, it's halfway. That's what I'm saying. They still got all the West Coast and all those places. So, but like I said, they already kind of predicted. They say if Trump wins this, if he won like he did before, if he won this and stuff. See, they already accounted for those states. The only reason why they was trying to hope that they could flip Texas and some of those Texas was because it could be a landslide. That's the only way it would have been a landslide. Was one in those big states. But no, because technically I was gonna vote right on election day, right around the corner, right around our house, because I already know how many people is on that roster. So it wasn't like if I had voted today and waited in line that I was gonna be waiting in some long, humongous line. Because to be honest, I don't think a lot of people. I think a lot of people voted early, and I don't think there was no long ass lines and people wrapped around the building and all that stuff. Not at least not some of the places that I drove by today. Victory Church, the one on Rockbridge Road and Annistown Road. That before it changes, that was a voting place, and I didn't see no bunch of cars and stuff lined up like that. So I don't. I mean, to me, it's better that you voted anyway. That's my thing. Whether you voted early, mail in vote, or whatever, I think as long as you voted, because like I said, the only reason why I voted early was because I said let me take a chance and go down there and vote early because I was because I was going to drive right down to the Sam's Club at the Stonecrest Mall, future home of the city of Stonecrest. Yep. See, that's what I'm saying. So it didn't make a difference if you voted early or you voted today because, see, everybody was anticipating the same thing. Ooh, let me vote early because I don't want to be in a long line and I don't want to be waiting and be chaos. So everybody voted early because everybody was thinking the same thing. I'm not going to wait any long lines. And then if you voted today, most people, 100, do you know 100 million plus people voted early? 100 million. That's 60 something percent of people they said have voted early than say if it was held on election day. That's how many people voted. That's why they ain't come up with no results yet for Texas and some of these battleground states because so many people voted way surpassed the percentage, way past the percentage of registered voters. 60 something percent they were saying in most places people have voted early. And that was that's higher than the regular number of people voted. So can you imagine that? So everybody voted so early that the ones who didn't vote, they still counting votes from early voting. And that's not even including the mail. They just talking about the ones who came in an actual voting booth, had the card, voted in the machine. That's not even including the mail vote, the mail-in ones, and the absentee vote. They still got to count those. They still got to count those. And it may not just be one state that's going to boil down to. It may be several. It may be three or four states is going to be like, we ain't finished counting. So it's not going to be just Florida. It's going to be quite a number of states. But if they counted, depending, like they said, depending on how they counted it, are they counting the ones who voted today first, or are they counting their early votes first? Vice versa, it's two different ways they have to count it. I'm referring to people who were turned around today. Turned around for what? They didn't vote, or they didn't vote because they didn't want to stay in line. As long as you was in line, you were supposed to vote. All right, let's see what's happening because my time is almost up, and I'm really, let me see what's going on. Ah, Lord. Neighbors that are working but pose a new. Neighbors that were working but pose said they won't be home anytime soon because they saw pallets and more pallets of absentee ballots. See, that gonna be some hell because I'm gonna tell you, Some of those states are gonna be so close and so narrow. You know, they still got to count them votes for the military for people who's overseas. They may not know. I don't think we're gonna have an idea who's gonna win. I think they're gonna be still counting votes with so many places, not just one state either. I think it's gonna be so many states. They're gonna be still counting ballots. Nobody's gonna get to 250. Nobody. Because they're gonna be still counting. They're gonna be still counting votes. And I said this was going to be a historical moment, and I really believe it's going to be historical. And not because somebody's going to barely win or barely lose. It's going to be 192 Biden to Trump 108. Carter, where you seeing this at? Because every time I go to CNN, it keeps giving me 100 and something to something. So I don't know. And every time I look at that damn map, it seems like there's a whole bunch of red that I see blue. That doesn't make a difference because some states are heavily populated than others. So I hope you're right. Don't be Harden. I don't know. I would believe you because you be throwing up some numbers now. Don't be putting things up ain't true. Because I'm gonna be mad. So 100 more is needed, and Biden wins. But they wait for Nevada, California, Alaska, Hawaii. What's the other ones? Yeah, but is that based on if he wins? Because I don't want to go by no if he wins those states is 192. Is it actually 192 to 108? That's what I want to know. You still got to get to 250 regardless. You can't get to 249. You can't get to 248. You got to get to 250. I just don't. I just do not want this election to be determined by the Supreme Court. Because I tell you, Trump railroad and try to get that person in like they did, it's gonna be a civil war. I'm gonna tell you that. It's not even gonna be about he cheated. It's gonna be a civil war because see, that's what's gonna cause a problem. If you win, you win. But if you have it where the Supreme Court decides and you railroad that Supreme Court nominee in like that the way they did, and then when President Obama had it, I can assure you it's gonna be some hell to raise. It ain't gonna be so much about because Trump is in there again. Because see, the House and stuff is split is even 40-40. And even then, that's gonna be a I don't know. All I want is something fair. That's all I want. Fair. And if something whatever happens, you gotta be on his neck. Be on his neck. I'm gonna say damn to the United States or whatever happens. Whatever happens, and people still go for that okey doke. I ain't wearing no mask, and I ain't got that socialism and this and that. Mm-mm. Let me see. California just closed, not that. California's still open, to my knowledge. Let me see what's going on with CNN. What the hell they talking about? Oh, well. I don't know how they're predicting California and all these other states. And I didn't even see any votes counted. I just saw 0 and then they were projected winners. So I don't even understand that. And then the battleground states, they still haven't turned in their all of their numbers. And it's not just 1 or 2. We're talking about a good number of battleground states. Lord. All right, it's 11:09. I went past my time that I'm supposed to be on here. At this point, we're going to have to wait and see what happens to those other states. All right, y'all. I don't know what more can happen between now and in an hour. But I guess if whatever happens, somebody will text me at the middle of the night or something like that. Okay, I'm going to bed now. I will see y'all tomorrow night. I don't know, we're going to be crying, smiling, sad, angry. All I know is this. We stay safe. Don't put no stickers or anything on your car. You know? I don't care who it is. Don't put no stickers. Don't put no Trump. Don't put nothing. Just don't drive around with those things, paraphernalia of any sort, on your car at all. Because I know I'm not going to put nothing on my cars with anything of the kind, because I don't know. People are crazy. And people are going to be more crazy and more stupid as the months go by. So all I can say is we need to stack up our money, stack up our food, stack up, buy whatever essentials we need to get, because it's gonna be inflation to hell. Whatever canned goods, groceries, whatever, stock up your stockpile, because whatever happens, everything gonna need to be done to prepare. My whole thing is, how worse of it gonna be? Trump get in there, you can forget it. Ain't gonna be hell from whatever. Biden get in, it's gonna be a struggle just to get things back in order or turn things around. And it's gonna take 2 years. So don't expect a whole lot. Biden gets in, he's gonna have to restore the faith in the of bringing people back together again, people rallying with the president. And the only good thing I could say about this is, let's say, and I'm gonna make this one last point, and that's it. Let's say President Obama was able to galvanize the voters like he did, and say he never ran, and say he did the same thing that happened 8 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever. Say the same thing happened 11 years ago, and President Obama, he's not president. Say he was never president, and say that same type of thing was switched. Let's go back and let's go ahead and just put a different narrative on the story. Say Trump came in there like he did and fucked everything up, which he did. And President Obama, he would say he was never president, and say he captivated the country the same way he did when he ran, and say it was happening now. And we say we had a black president now versus way back when. How things differently would have really been, because that's what you needed. I just, to be honest with y'all, I think it was more so to do with let's get rid of Trump than let's support Biden. It was more about getting rid of Trump than supporting someone who, I'm not saying Biden is not a good candidate or the best candidate, but I think that was the focus really on getting rid of Trump, or was the focus more so on getting rid of him, regardless of who they bring out there to try to get rid of? Or was it really that Biden really has the best interest? And then, yes, he picked a black woman, a woman to be his running mate. But let's be honest here. We all know Trump is an ass. We all know that he doesn't care about no one but himself and his little family and his Clooney's. But was it really about people coming out to vote? Because, I was hearing all this stuff. Everybody get out to vote early, get out to vote, vote, vote. But nobody never said, I know certain newspapers, radio stations, churches, they have to be impartial. They can't have personal opinions of who they want. Even the people who are on radio, they can't say, oh, I support Trump. I support, when you work in radio and TV and networks and stuff, you have to be impartial, But was the focus more so on just getting rid of Trump? Or was it really that we were focusing more on getting someone else other than Trump, And that's my thing. Trump hasn't done anything for anyone, especially black folks, Despite that, they said the Latino vote was really carried Florida and stuff. I don't know what their reasoning is, Unless you're Cuban and stuff. To me, I think that if you're a person in a position where you are quite doing well, you're not really struggling, you have a good job, people gonna say, I'm gonna vote for Trump, because they have no financial worries. They have no worries in the world in terms of housing and are you going to be able to have your job next week? When can you stretch that little bit of money you make? But for those who, I can see the Latino communities rallying with Trump because they're more conservative. Their views about socialism, where they came from, if they came from Venezuela or whatever Latin American countries, and they come here, they get it boggled down in their mind about socialism is bad and Democrats is equated to socialism. So they equate that same thought mind process the way they came from, and they thinking that, oh, as long as you come to America and you you work hard, you could, you get the American dream. And for some reason they thinking Trump is that person, or maybe they think the Republican Party is that party. So I could see to some extent, because even like today, like I said, the guy that came to do my house and stuff like that, he made $1,000 today. Just me alone. And can you imagine that you go, fix up houses, paint or whatever, and you making $500-$600, and say you do that, even if you did that 3 times a week, you make $3,000 a month. I mean, $3,000 a week, and you just go around fixing houses, doing whatever you need to do, cut grass or whatever. and you can make some money. See, you don't have no financial struggles. See, a lot of people be looking at Mexican and people from Latin American countries and things like that, like they ain't got nothing. They make way more money than the typical black person here in the United States. Point blank, period. It is the truth. So they don't have the worries. They don't have to deal with the racial struggles, financial, economic struggles, and things of that nature. So it doesn't really matter to them too much about who's president. They like, I just got a job to do. I got to go to work. Da 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 da. It's not so important to them. That's why some of them, like that wrestler or MF wrestler person he talking about, he support Trump and the Democrats taking advantage of the Latino vote and this and that. And they have more, they have that gear towards always voting with Democrat. I mean Republican, because the Republican Party is not the party for the struggled, the poor, the ones who can't make it financially. Most Republicans conservative values and they, not work ethic, but they conservative values and their fiscal responsibilities, and they believe more in enterprise and free government and less government interference in making money. That's the Republican Party. I'm not going to talk about the race part, about how they racist, because I think people are racist regardless of whether you're Republican or Democrat, liberal, whatever. But in regards to financial, it's always going to be more Republican in those values, And when you think about most Latinos or Latino people voting Republican, Cubans, or people from other Central American countries, they're more enterprising. They're about making money. Their concern is not government interference and everything else like that. Most of them come here, they make their money. They're not, you see some of them working in the fast food places or working, washing dishes and washing cars. But I can assure you, they're only doing that for a small period of time. They're gonna do that, make enough money to get a little truck. They go around and hustle and do businesses, cut grass, and do whatever they need to do. And they stack up their money. They buy another truck. They upgrade. They got their family members, niece, nephews, whomever, and they making money. So they're going to gear towards the Republican Party because most Republicans, it's about money, financial, and even the ones, even if you see some white folks who say about a Republican and stuff like that, you have to really think hard about what it is on their mindset. I ain't talking about races. I think sometimes when I think about some of these black folks who be voting Republican and they talking about the Democrats take advantage of the black vote and take back, or assume, and that's true. There is some truth to that. They do assume that because black, they think you're always going to go Democrat and go all the way down. But when you always, as a race of black folks, when you always seem to be down in the bottom all the time against Mexicans, Asian people, you're always at the bottom of, you always think that the Democrats are going to be the saviors of all, and that's not true either. That's not true either. And when it happens for so long, generation after generation, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you keep getting the same results as a black person, it's kind of hard to some people, gonna say, we're not monolithic. We're not, we're not all the same in regards to views. And that's true, we're not. I swear to God, if there was another Republican candidate that I felt that was really good and strong, I would have voted Republican. I wouldn't have no problems if it was certain people and they were speaking about economic empowerment, truly helping out black folks, and we had a record of doing those things. I would have been like, oh, there we go. That's who I'm going with because of the views. I just didn't see that. I didn't see that in Trump. Trump had an opportunity to really, bring this country together and really do it. Maybe I pray and hope that maybe his last 4 years he really holds true. But if he don't, then you know what? It's every man for themselves. That's all I know. The only thing I always try, I've been thinking about this for months. I said, you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing that could happen is this is his last 4 years, and 4 years will keep going on and go. And that we really need to put, then if that's the case, let me tell you, if that's the case, then you really need to put, we're gonna really need to step up the game. Whatever happens tonight, after tonight, or whatever happens in the next week or so, if Trump gets in there, we're gonna have to mobilize and make sure we hold him accountable and stop with that bullshit. Because let me tell you, Trump getting there, we can forget it. This economy we will be hitting a depression in the worst kind of way. I already know it's going to happen. Other countries in Europe, they're already shutting down. The global economy is in disaster. All those countries and over in other countries has already shut down. It's going to stay shut down. It's going to stay like that, regardless what happens tomorrow morning when we wake up and we see the headlines or whatever. I hope and pray Biden does get in, because I could see him bringing the country together. He may not fix it all. He's not going to fix it all. And he ain't going to fix it all in no 1 month, 2 months in office. Because you know what? He's still a white man. And trust me, it ain't going to be as, put it this way. If like I said to my scenario story, let's say President Obama never was president 8 years ago. He came into the arena now in this time of age, and he came in and he did the same thing, and he mobilized everybody like he did. Say he did the same thing this year, and he was never president, and Trump did what he did, and this really kind of, if you had, it was a storyline, how history would have happened, how would it have been any different if that was the case, if that had happened? What if it was all switched around? Trump won 8 years ago or 12 years ago, whatever, and he fucked everything up like he's doing now. And then President Obama comes, in this at this point, this intelligent black man comes along and he gravitizes everybody like the way like he did, and say, so with social media and everything, people would have been sick of the mess. It would have been a different story. But you know what? Trump came in there, and you just simply pick at a certain group of people. Oh, they forgot about you. They picked a poor white folk, not even poor. White folks disenfranchised white man, disenfranchised black man, and and got those group of people, and everybody else simply dropped the ball because we had a black president. They were dancing and shucking and driving for 8 years because President Obama won, and everybody else dropped the ball and didn't vote in the general election when it came around for the Senate for 2 years. that would, you can't go backwards. You can't go back. Trump won, but you can't. But this opportunity now is the telling tale. It's a telltale of where this country's gonna go. Where are we gonna go? If we go back to Trump, I'm gonna tell you now. Y'all better prepare yourself. You better get 10 gigs. You better stock up on whatever you need to stock up on. You better prepare for this hyperinflation because it's going to happen regardless. But the severity of what's going to happen is going to be the issue. How bad, worse off it's going to be. Because they know these foreign countries and these other countries, they ain't opening up anytime soon. They're not going to open up. They're not going to reverse their position about closing down the economy. They're not going to do it. And they're giving out stimulus money to their citizens just as much as what the United States is doing. The United States, they're not even, in other countries, they're giving them a yearly stipend for a whole year. Everybody getting $20,000 whatever dollars a year so they could kind of keep the economy. That's why the stock market is what it is. It's because it's artificially inflated with companies printing out money, digital. That money's not going to be paper. That dollar, this damn dollar ain't going to be worth shit. The dollar, that's why I said I've been looking at investing in gold for the last month, 2 months, but I can't decide which company I want to choose with because one says, oh, you can do an IRA in gold, but I could never find the legitimacy of the company. You could buy gold anywhere because the gold, that's what's going to happen. The dollar worth nothing. You gotta put your money in somewhere that's going to be secure, to secure your investments. Not to make money, but you can make money. So that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry, but let's see the last update, and then after that, I'm going to bed. I can't think about this no more. So let me look at one last thing and see what's going on. And then after that, I'll say y'all good night. So I'll be back in a second.
A little bit better than they were 4 years ago for the Democrats. Meeting of those won County a little bit better than they did 4 years ago, but I've been texting with the head of the Milwaukee Democrats sitting next to her. Some of the stronger expected struggles with them. Even though Trump is winning right now, possibly stronger down in Milwaukee, they think, blowout announcement, like the leadership tonight, we're scaring those margins around Milwaukee and the areas of lives in order to live with. That's great. It's a mask.
192 and 114. All right. The latest update so far is 192 Biden, 114 Trump. So they said that they are still counting votes for Pennsylvania in Wisconsin. And they still have not determined the other states. They still counting. They said that. Whew. So anyway, I'm going to bed. But if you live in Georgia, there's a special runoff election. So I don't know which one that is, but we will be voting again in Georgia for a special runoff election. They didn't get one of the Senate seats. No one didn't get the majority vote. So next month we'll be voting for another runoff election for the Senate race. I'll find out the details as to what race that was. But as for the Senate race and House, it's a split, even 40-40. So everything has been pretty much close. So, well, y'all have a good night. I'm going to bed. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow evening. I'll be off Thursday. So, well, they still counting in Florida, and they still counting in Pennsylvania, and they still counting in a whole bunch of other states. So they said that he didn't necessarily need to get, if he didn't win Florida, he could still get to 250. So, but some of these other states, they still counting. And matter of fact, they said that the lead that Trump had in one of those states, Pennsylvania, was narrowing down. So they closing the gap. They said they just now counting the early votes. So it's not like he's winning by millions of votes. It's like only a slim margin. So they just started counting the early votes. Florida, like I said, even if they gave him to Florida, they still have a whole bunch of other states. So, and if he's at 20, where is he at? If Biden is at 209, he only needs 41 more electoral. He only needs 41 more to win. So if he needs 41 to win, there are still several other states that's still out there. So that's all that's needed on here. So if he's at 209, oh shit, it is 270. If it's 270 to win, that means he has 61 electoral votes to remain. So they still counting. So, and they said that they were now starting to count the early votes. The early votes shows that most people who vote early tend to go be Democrat. So that lead was shrinking, because when I first saw the other state, Trump was leading by a bit, but then the other state, Pennsylvania, was shrinking down too. and then Wisconsin is the other one. So, and then they said, what's the other one? Arizona is the other one. Arizona is a big one too. So they'll be counting to the rest of the night. And the way it looks, if they're counting early voting, it's going to be something. But anyway, y'all have a good night. Stay safe. Please don't put no stickers on your car about nothing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just wait till whatever. Because you don't want nobody become targeting and drive. I already live in Stone Mountain, and these dumb rednecks, dumb crackers, KKK be driving around with these big ass Confederate flags just going crazy. And I saw that last summer. Did you see the last update? What happened on the last update? Go ahead and tell me, because I'm going to do one last one, and then after that, that's it. Let me see. All right, I'm back. Well, they said Wisconsin, they said they will not know the results until 5 a.m. this morning because they said they're still counting the absentee votes. And that's very, very close. So it's all coming down to the battleground states. That's what it's coming down to. All the battleground states is coming down to those. And it's not just one state either. It's Wisconsin, Florida, Pennsylvania. I don't want to say Georgia because I don't know if Georgia is in the runnings or not. But Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin. Well, we'll see. Biden got 192, so. All right. I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good night. Talk to y'all tomorrow night. Good night, Dorian. Good night, Beverly. Good night, Side Jobs. Good night, Harden. Good night, Erica. Shelly Shell. Who else on here? Colis. Creative Mind. Beverly. Ruthie or Jeremy. Y'all have a good night. Talk to y'all tomorrow night.